we weren't trying to, be a sequel. We were just trying to be a standalone, and ours was just called Big Baby. Anyway,
we had an idea. And I think that's anything that becomes legendary or even iconic starts on such a small ground level that a lot of people are probably amazed where some of these movies get created and where they get wrote, because it's not always the bright lights of Hollywood and in front of hundreds of people. It may just be a small group in a small office anywhere around the nation or the world now.
Well, now in particular, now because of all the social media and just the way the world has evolved, you can be in Alaska and write a great screenplay and get it to somebody in Hollywood, that afternoon. It's no big deal. It used to be a completely different ball game. But now, which is good, it makes it much more eclectic, and anybody and everybody can be involved. That's not to say it's any easier, because now there are 10 times as many people trying to get into business. But anyway, that's a whole business talk. I don't want to get into that.
Yeah, the Hollywood that we watch in films and television, and then going there and going through the motions as many people have, it's not the same thing, and it can be a very terrifying town, and one that will really break down the human spirit if you're not willing to be out there for a long haul and to go through so many auditions and being on a commercial and all these things before you finally get to where you're making a decent pay, because it costs so much to even live out there.
My God, you sound as if you've been through the mill out here. Have you?
No, but I have. I did visit for a week and met up.
That was
with
enough.
People. Yeah. Well, living in a small farming town of less than about 500 people, and going from that in one day to do like 3.75 million, somewhere around there, can be one thing. But I guess hearing horror stories over the years doing this is maybe where my deep-rich Hollywood feelings these days come from.
Okay. Oh, good. Because there's some wonderful movies out right now or coming out soon. And I think the movies are as good as ever, So the talent is always there. It's just a question of it being heard and seen,
Yes, I think there's probably a lot more, like you mentioned, more opportunities these days than where there was when you got your start.
I would agree.
But going into some of your own work, you have your own character, Mr. Vinegar. I hope I got that right with the apostrophe.
Mr. Vinegar. Yes.
Third time is the strike.
No, it's fine.
But you created your own character and have continued to make short films and even a feature in sometime in 2011, it says in your bio. But when did you decide to create your own character and go through, doing all these things yourself, even though you've had so much experience, it has to be harder to, say, put something else on your plate?
Well, actually, and I think this is true, you'll find if you speak to a lot of people in Hollywood that you're in the system because you want to be in the system because it pays money, to live. But I think you'll find that many, many actors and certainly many writers are always doing something on the side in the hope that they can get it made, and also because it satisfies a creative urge that they're not satisfying or is not being satisfied in the usual work that they do. And, excuse me again, I came up with Mr. Vinegar. I don't remember exactly how, but I like the idea of an obnoxious, I was going to say something I don't know what I can say on your radio, a guy who doesn't like the world. I just thought there was a lot of humor in that. And I proceeded to make several short films and wrote a feature, which, as of this moment, I haven't been able to get off the ground. But he's been a great deal of comfort to me. And I've been able to involve some really good acting friends of mine in those small projects. I don't know if you know any of the people. Brian Doyle Murray, I believe, was in one. Bill Murray's brother. Oh, he was in something else. Chris Mulkey. I mean, all sorts of people have. Larry Hankin. Other people whose you may know or may not know, but you would certainly recognize the faces.
Well, yeah, I know Larry, and I know of Brian Doyle Murray because I've seen a lot of his work. He is hilarious.
He's wonderful.
Yeah, I remember going back to Vacation. He had a cameo in that. Going up to, I watched Yes Dear. He had a recurring role as the boss on that show. So, yeah, he's definitely great talent. Larry Hankin is a very talented man and a very nice guy as well.
Oh, you've done a show with him?
A few.
Oh, great.
Yeah,
wonderful.
A few. Thankfully, he doesn't have... See, that's what it's kind of crazy about going through the motions with this. Yeah, I think you have a pretty... it's a great name, but it's pretty simple to say now that I think about it. But some of the people I've had on the past couple of weeks, like Kat Rolsho was one lady, and I had Athena Prohodko, and that was a really interesting spelling. But it seems like the harder it is to spell, the easier I can kind of get it. But the easier it is to spell, the more the chance there is to flub it up.
That's funny. That's very funny, but not unusual.
Well, the last question I always like to ask the guest is what the future holds for you. I'm sure you're still going at this. You have had such an accomplished career that you couldn't just let it go anytime soon. So what do you got coming up that you can discuss or would like to? And where could people find you if they want to find out more about your work or follow you on Facebook or anything like that?
Well, actually, I'm just finishing up another novel. I have written a novel called I've written a novel called The Food Taster, which came out about 15 years ago, something like that, and which I'm very proud of. And it was published in over 20 countries around the globe. And again, every couple of years, somebody threatens to make a movie out of it, but as yet they haven't. And so this new one has nothing to do with that. It's a contemporary novel, and it's called Acts, A-C-T-S, of Amusement. And as soon as I finish writing it, which I hope will be within the next month, I will do my best to get a publisher and get it out to everybody, including you and all the people listening.
That is very awesome. I think any time someone can have success with writing a book or a film and then go through the motions of life and time and decide that you had so much fun in it with the success to go back and create something more with those characters and thoughts. Yes,
indeed. But in this particular case, this has nothing to do with the other novel. Did I confuse you, or am I confused?
No, I confused myself. I got that you said that. I'm sorry. I was trying to write a thing that we were still on the air on Twitter, and it made me lose my train of thought. That's why people can't multitask, and no matter how much we think we can, I think it's a myth.
I agree completely.
But
I find it hard enough just to concentrate on one thing.
Absolutely. Well, I think that if you do decide to make something else, even out of the characters from this book down the line, it can be very nice as well to see sequels. I know people always go, "Where's the sequel?"
Yes,
but after a certain time, I think it's nice to pop back in because it kind of surprises people.
Well, I'm hoping the sequel will be the movie. Let's put that out there. That would be great if it was a movie. I'd be delighted. But thank you for all the plugs. I appreciate it.
Yes, it's no problem. Thank you for joining us today. And yes, sorry about the flub ups. I think that's the most per episode on names and everything along those lines. So thanks for joining us and being compassionate towards my mess ups.
Well, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
All right, Peter. Have a great night. Thanks again.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All righty, guys. Well, we are going to be back, looks like, September 16th. We're very happy to be welcoming actor Greg Moffat He had a career as a child actor mostly. I know he just most recently, I think it's this year, he has an appearance in a film coming out. But he was a child actor in the late 40s to late 50s. And one role that pops out in particular was with George Reeves in Adventures of Superman. And that's going to be really nice. Talking about what many consider the golden age of Hollywood, way before my time, but have definitely seen some of those kinds of films. And I think, especially with some of the sci-fi films he has been in that have such big cult followings now, I think it's kind of the cheesiness that you remember, since especially these days it seems like productions can have the huge budgets, and especially with special effects the way they are with computers, you can sometimes lose some of the cheesiness for reality. So it'll be nice talking to Greg. September 17th, we welcome three-time NWA TNA World Tag Team Champion as seen in the WWE, the Nashville Chase Stevens. And September 19th, we welcome actor and filmmaker Wyatt Weed. He's going to be appearing at 2019's Dark History and Horror Con. He is best known as the Boar Predator in Predator 2. And, of course, the 2019 Dark History and Horror Con happening October 26th and 27th at the City Center in Champaign, Illinois. You can visit dhhcon.com for more info and up-to-date ticket prices and guest lists. We have some really awesome people coming this year, so be sure to join us. And, of course, SilCon is already in the works for next year. So she's already put that out there. That's official. We will be back next year at the Cross County Mall in Mattoon, Illinois. So stay up to date with us and at SilCon.com for more info as the year progresses and on to next year about who will be at that one as well. So always something fun for you guys to look forward to. Big thanks again to Peter Elbling for joining us. I still feel like goofball for messing up the names live, and even some other things before that, one other thing before that with the flyer, but he was really gracious to join us, and he's had a very legendary career. If you guys joined us late, as always, you can check this out in the archive. It should be up probably about 10 minutes after the show uploads. And in about a week or so, hopefully, it should be, about a week or so, all the shows should be on JIApodcasting.com. I believe, well, let's see here. I even messed up my own website. JIAnetwork.com. I guess that'd be our own website, not just mine, because Josh and Ariana and I are in this together. And we have a lot of great shows for you. We're getting ready to record our new one, which is going to involve all three of us, called Three Podcasters, and a microphone. And I believe we're going to do our first show probably in about a week or so. So stay tuned for that roundtable discussion, and, of course, for all the great guests and shows we have coming up on Cloverleaf as well. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Have a great night.